Number 10. Peterborough Lift Lock. It was built on the Trent Canal in order that the boats could reach the commercial area of the city. The work lasted 8 years, from 1896 to 1904, at a time when the means to transport the construction material they were men's horses or steam engines. However, they were able to build what is still the largest hydraulic elevator in the world. This type of machinery is capable of raising ships of 1,300 tons and 40 meters in length to more than 19 meters of altitude, and without the need to use energy electrical, since it is the force of the water that does the hard work. If it was not enough, its structure allows 2 different ships to be transported at the same time, each one in a different direction, while one rises the other low in the same operation. Number 9. The Elevator of Niederfinow. The Niederfinow ship lift is the oldest in all of Germany, since it was opened in 1934. It is located on the Oder-Havel Canal in the state of Brandenburg. This important canal links Berlin with the Baltic Sea. The lift measures 60 meters tall and is able to make the ship save the 36 meters of altitude, which presents the waterway, and so they can continue their journey. Before its construction in 1934, the boats had to cross 4 locks to make this journey. This engineering work needs only 5 minutes to raise or lower a ship. Despite its age, every year it is used by 20,000 vessels, an amount that is very close to its maximum capacity. So another lift is being built of greater capacity, 1,000 tons, and that will measure 54 meters high and 133 meters long. Number 8. Anderton Boat Lift. The elevator of boats of Anderton was opened to the traffic the 26th of July of 1875, is located in the center of England, and was used to communicate the mines of Saltgem and to be able to transport thus the merchandise to the ports of sea. Initially used a hydraulic system, but after an accident due to the corruption in the pistons, it was decided to place an electrical system to operate the elevator. After years of intensive use during the 50s and 60s, commercial transport in the British canals declined. During the following decade, elevator traffic was almost entirely recreational. The elevator structure was painted with a corrosion-resistant solution, and repeated every 8 years. As maintenance during the repainting in 1983, extensive corrosion was found in the structure, and it was decided to close, and it was not until the year 2000 when it was reopened after a thorough renovation, although a modern hydraulic system has been incorporated. The pulleys and the external frame of the old lift have remained as an exhibition for visitors of this old structure. Number 7. Boat Lift Fontanettes. Although today this French elevator has become a museum in its time, there is no doubt that it should be a milestone of engineering. Before its construction in 1889 to the river was a great waste of time. The boats that they had to go through 7 locks to save the 13-meter drop, which also existed at that time. There was a great increase in fluvial traffic, so the barges had to suffer long waits to be able to cross that road, and to cross all the locks through this in the decade of the 80th of the 19th century. Began to build this hydraulic elevator, which was going to alleviate the problem, was the British engineer Edwin Clark, responsible for the design of the elevator of Anderton, which carried out the project along with the Galbertan, were raised 3 brick towers. Wanted to go the 2 mobile metal chambers that lifted ships of up to 300 tons. The elevator worked until 1967, when serious deficiencies were found in the structure. Because of this, it was replaced by a lock built half a kilometer upstream. Number 6. Krasnoyarsk Ship Elevator. The ship lift of Krasnoyarsk, Russia began to be built in 1963, and was not completed until 1976. The reason for this great engineering work was to restore navigation on the Yenisei River, which had been navigable until a power plant was built in the city. This elevator works with electric power and transports from the left bank of the river to the other vessel, is up to 109 meters in length, exceeding a vertical drop of almost 100 meters. The structure is composed of a channel inclined plane, a small port, and the platform that moves along rails, showing a great foresight. The Soviet engineers decided to build the lift for much larger ships than at that time. They crossed the river. If their capacity had not done so, it would have been insufficient for the boat's current. Number 5. inline plane of St. Louis-Arzviller. It was built in France to save a slope of 44.5 meters, and avoid having to cross through 17 locks for 4 kilometers. To complete this route had a full day of travel, so it had an impact on costs. On the other hand, the width of the canal did not allow one ship to meet another one in order to cross these locks, which have slowed down much more the crossing this great connected work, and thriller François and Strasbourg, or a distance of 314 kilometers. The elevator runs on a slope of reinforced concrete on steel rails at 2.2 kilometers per hour to save a slope of 41%. Unfortunately for the promoters, in the last 20 years of fluvial trade in the zone, it has descended enormously. However, it has come to replace tourism, and it is estimated that more than 10,000 pleasure craft use the inclined plane every year. Number 4. Falkirk Wheel. Falkirk Wheel owes its name to the neighboring town of Falkirk, Scotland, and is the only rotational elevator of ships in the world. The Wheel, one of the channels of Forth and Clyde with the Union Channel until the 30s. These channels can be crossed by 11 locks that helped save their 24 meters of height. Later these channels were filled with land after falling into disuse in 1990. The idea of connecting the cities of Edinburgh and Glasgow by means of a water channel was resumed. That will allow both people and materials to move through central Scotland as part of this plan called Millennium Link. This elevator was started to rotate. It was finally inaugurated by the Queen in 2002, as part of the festivities of her Golden Boot and the Crown. The work is really impressive. Has a diameter of 35 meters, and is able to raise the boats in less than 5 minutes, taking them up to the level of the channel to continue their journey to their destination. Number 3. Straight-View Elevator. The zone of Belgium in which the Straight-View elevator was installed is one of those that have the highest freight traffic in the world. Specifically, it is located in the channel of the center channel linking the rivers Meuse and Escaut. The 74 meters of difference they made the highest in the world. Until the construction of the elevator of the three gorges of the river Yangtze in China, this elevator was part of a plan to modernize the canal before being built to bridge the gap. The boats had to use 4 hydraulic lifts and 2 locks located along its route, with the consequent loss of time. In addition, the maximum weight of the ships that could use this old system was about 300 tons, well below the 1,350 that holds the new mechanism. It is estimated that the load that can currently pass through this elevator is equivalent to a caravan of 52.5 kilometers of trucks. Number 2. Lundberg Ship Elevator. The Arnbeck Twin Ship Elevator was built in 1975 to join the Canal Mitterrand and the Elbe River. At the time, it was the largest elevator in the world to be able to save a slope of 38 meters in height, more or less a building of 12 plants. Its commissioning took place on December 5, 1975. Its pulley and cable system can raise in only 3 minutes vessels of up to 5,800 tons, 100 meters long and 11 meters wide. A few years ago it has been modernized with new engines with greater power. Thus they have gone from providing 55 kilowatts to 75. This elevator allows 2 ships to pass at the same time thanks to its double structure. One of the channels moves upwards and the second one downwards completely independently. The whole operation is directed by one man, located in a central control station. Number 1. Yangtze River, Three Gorges. The announcement of the construction of this boat lift in the dam of the Three Gorges in the Yangtze River in China was a great world event. It is the highest lift in the world, and was considered as a sign of the economic rise of the Asian country. The work began nothing more and nothing less than in 1994. However, the complexity of the project caused the work to stop. Only a year later, it was not until 2008 when they returned to resume the project that was finally completed in 2016. In fact, 22 years since the first stone was laid. The elevator numbers are impressive: 185 meters high, 2 kilometers wide, and a structure that contains almost 30 million cubic meters of cement. The lift can support weights of up to 3,000 tons and it raises the boats 113 meters. This mega construction has the first place in the ranking of the biggest lifts of boats, but it is pending that a new lift is finished also in China that will reach the incredible 149 meters of altitude at the height of a 50-story skyscraper.